Okay, folks, we're going to be witnessing the... what are we calling? The aspiring prodigy, well, the bane of all players. I don't know. It's Typhus with his Hive Tyrant. Not a lot of players who are playing Tyranids at the moment are playing Hive Tyrant, and it's kind of funny because there's not a lot of players playing Tyranids, period. But even within that subset of players, there's not a lot that are playing the Hive Tyrant. But Typhus is, and he's having a lot of success doing it. At the moment, it looks like he's going to be going for a Homogaunt spam build. I wonder if he's going to go into the old-school double Raveners afterwards. Because when you play the Hive Tyrant, you don't need the Warriors for Synapse, because he provides Synapse, unlike the Lictor Alpha or the Ravener. We'll see. The Warriors are still nice just because they're way tankier melee troops than the Raveners for the cost. Rostam kind of screwing up there because he forgot that Fleet of Foot nerfs your Destructor, making his Destructor do basically no damage, and you do not want to fight double Homogaunts with Banshees anyway. Certainly don't want to fight them when they're also in Synapse. So yeah, just got to retreat out of there. Backed off one of the Guardians. What you should do here is you should have the double Guardians going around together, because two Guardians together can beat an isolated Homogaunt quite easily. Then the Warlock hunts one of them, and then the Banshees want to find an isolated Homogaunt, because if the Banshees find an isolated Homogaunt, they can win relatively easily. And then with your Warlock, you want to constantly focus on the Homogaunts, hoping that you proc a special just like that. A little bit of a premature retreat, I think, yeah. But it's pretty nice because they've only got 55 melee skill, so you've got a 20% chance with every attack to proc a special. And obviously specials are AoE. With the Warlock, they're 360 AoE. I wonder if you can wipe a Homogaunt squad instantly when they're out of Synapse if you hit them with Destructor and then proc a special and hit all models. I know you can do that to default Heretics. Not sure what the difference in HP is. The default Heretics 600, these are 640. They might still live. But a very fast Rending Talons from Typhus, which I don't like. That's bad. That's bad. You need to get more units out. That's not a good choice. And you've seen there the impact of it was not very good. I mean, maybe that led to a killed model. I didn't even notice because I was too busy rambling on. But even if it did, it's not worth it. You need more units. He's going for quadruple Homogaunts? Okay, this is interesting. Let's see how Rostam, I guess, fails to deal with this, because this is a very long game. Okay, no, it doesn't matter. He's going for Warriors. If your enemy's going for quadruple Homogaunts and the game lasts for ages, then you definitely failed to deal with it. Because either the game will, you know, the Tyranid will win very early. I don't know why the Warlock's running away right now. Fight them. Get your 360 specials and do loads of damage. What the hell, Warlock? Now, the Merciless Switchblade would be amazing here because it's got 360 specials as well that do even more damage, and it also tracks, so they can't kite you. If he had the Merciless Switchblade, oh my god, he could kill these so easy. And yeah, Rostam just... I mean, he just walked. With the Warlock, he walked the free Homogaunts into the retreat path of those Guardians, so they got wiped. I mean, Rostam clearly isn't used to fighting this. I don't know how regular he's playing at the moment, but yeah, he's not experienced this one before, clearly. Well, not recently anyway. So that's tricky because now he's down on units. He still hasn't took back this requisition point either. He's actually winning on VPs rather hilariously. Not looking like a great spot here for the Warriors. Banshees seem to be scared of the Rending Talons of the Hive Tyrant, which were used very poorly there. Oh, but it's only to facilitate a retreat. Typhus just wants out. Okay, fair enough. Okay, and we've got the Merciless Switchblade. Nice. Very good. And now we're probably going to need to drop some more gens. Yep. Because we're lacking in that power. Because this thing's 35 power. It is the most expensive Tier 1 war gear that you can get on any hero in the game. Now he needs to rotate the Warlock over to here, and with the Warlock not having full HP here, I don't know if he's going to be able to beat all these. It is going to be a matter of RNG, but generally, he is pretty scary for the Homogaunts, that's for sure. They're just going to ignore him, they're going to split up and all get on the farm. Oh my god, what a nightmare. You need to play very defensive against this. I don't like that Rostam rotated the Shuriken down to here. The Shuriken should have been defending this choke point onto the farm. And also, Rostam's been way too cautious. They're currently gen bashing Rostam. Get into melee. They're not going to attack you. But a bit of a missed micro here from Typhus. Looks like he's going to lose his Hive Tyrant, and the Warriors had to retreat. So now Rostam can get a bit of a gem bash going. Look at this. Warlock just easily wrecked the triple Hormagaunts. Going to go for the Champion's Robe now as well. But it's a lot of commitment. And this, by the way, is why you often seen in the past the double Ravenous. So then you'd have you've got this initial melee pressure. Look at these guys all running down like Zerglings. You've got that initial pressure from all the melee, but then you've got double Ravenous to actually focus fire any tanky melee heroes that opt for wargears like this. Plus it's disruption to counter setup teams, etc, etc. Because evidently, in spite of having those Devourers, these guys are not that bad at doing melee damage either. But they're going to have to get out of here, I think. They are very fast, 6.5 speed, but yeah, Fleet of Foot's being activated here on the Warlock. So he is going to get into melee here with the Raveners, and that's going to be difficult for them. They need to get out, they don't want to bleed. Raveners, they're nice insofar as they're a free model squad, so it's kind of hard to bleed them. Well, certainly in tier 1, but yeah, if you do bleed models on those Raveners, they're very expensive to replace. Map control looking very favourable for Rostam, which is exceptionally odd, given the current state of affairs, where the Tyranids, of course, are faster, and the Tyranids have 5 units to the 3 of Rostam, so it's very, very strange. Typhus is struggling, to say the least. I think he managed to keep most of his gens, though, which is a good thing. Kind of can see that reflected in the different power levels here by the players. Let's have a look at what the Banshees are doing. They caught one of the Hormagaunts isolated. Yeah, the Hormagaunts all splitting up right here. This is poor play again by Typhus. He should have blobbed 2 of them up. These two, this one should have disengaged, joined this one, and then they should have gangbanged the Banshees while this guy capped. Instead, you got 1 cap, and the other 2 just had to retreat, and now he has to retreat because he's isolated. So 3 squads here were sent here, and they just got 1 cap. Like, maybe they got a decap on the natural VP as well, but it's just poor. It's not good value out of these units. You can get a lot more out of them. And I don't really like how the Hive Tyrant's going around with the Warriors either. That seems very counterintuitive. So all these Hormagaunts aren't getting any value out of their Synapse. The Hive Tyrant should probably be going around with 2 of the Hormagaunts to create quite a potent fighting force. And then 1 Hormagaunt should cap, and then Warriors and Ravenous should go together, because the Warriors are countered best by the Shuriken, which the Ravenous counter, and then the Warriors give Synapse to the Ravenous. Hive Tyrant gives Synapse to the Hormagaunts. So a bit of a macro failing there from Typhus, but once again now we're getting in this position. Rostam needs to be aware when units are in this area here, he has to retreat through them in the event that he has to retreat. So this is very, very risky. Warlock is going to lead the charge. He's very tanky right now. He's got that Champion's Robe, but he's not proccing any specials. Now if you're the Warlock, you want to focus on the Hormagaunts, not the Warriors, because if you focus on the Hormagaunts, you're more likely to proc the special, because they're only 55 melee skill to the 70 of the Warriors. But it looks like the Banshees are going to get ripped apart. There is double Hormagaunts in here, and the Raveners actually missed-microed there from Typhus. Could have forced melee onto the Banshees and maybe got the wipe. And yeah, these Hormagaunts here just need to retreat. They don't want to be fighting the Warlock with his Merciless Switchblade. Such a good tool against melee spam. It's unbelievable. Now, this is a little bit scary. You've got the Ravener Devourers firing in, and crucially, you've got the Hive Tyrant here with the Rending Talons. You've got to remember this thing does a lot of damage. The damage against moving targets from the Hive Tyrant is pretty poor because he attacks super-duper quick. So his actual DPH is not very high. He relies on DPS, which means if you stand and trade against him, he's going to do a lot of damage, but if you're fleeing from him, he doesn't, because he only gets to poke you every now and then, and the DPH is really low. But yeah, when you're running through him like that, you've got to be careful. 75 DPS, even if it's just for a couple of seconds of attacks, is a lot of damage when you are retreating. But Rostam does manage to get out of there with a Warlock. Unfortunately for him, he... What, did he lose a Guardian squad, was it? Must have been. Maybe he didn't. No, he did, right. I don't know. Fuck knows. You guys can rewind. You've got that superpower, I don't. You guys, of course. I've probably seen it anyway. And it's just like, oh, Boomer Torpid at it again, missing things that happen directly in front of him on the screen. Yeah, I know, it's hard. I'm casting. It's weird. It's a strange phenomenon. A bit of a misplay here from Rostam, not activating his robes when he jumps in. Of course, if he has the robes active, it's a shield, so he can't get knocked over. So, Typhus now fully upgraded his Hive Tyrant. He's going for that Psychic Scream. He's got the improved Synapse. He went tier 2 and he rushed his adrenal glands, which makes sense, I guess. And he's gone full melee. He's got the enhanced muscle coil now on the Raveners, so they lose their Devourers, but they gain +1 speed. You can see they are ridiculously fast here. Literally speed 7.5 now, the fastest infantry unit in the game for passive movement speed. And they get improved stats for melee. They get, what, 20% more health, 33% more damage. And they can burrow as well, which is like an infiltration, except it's better because when they come out of the infiltration, it does big AoE knockback to all the enemies. And also that's triggered instantly by retreat as well, so that's pretty cool. It can help you disengage from melee fights without too much problems. Let's see if the Shuriken is being watched by Rostam. It's been jumped by the Raveners, are too slow to react, and I think with the speed 7.5, yep, they're going to be able to catch it and wipe it. Banshee's having to retreat through the Raveners as well. Raveners should be able to generate some value here, maybe kill another model. Hormagaunts there catching the Guardians. Man, Rostam needs to be better with his retreats here on the Guardians. Again, should have like fleeted over here and then retreated. You've got to remember, Hormagaunts can't proc specials on most units. Even if they can proc specials, they're not going to generally hit moving targets very well. So don't panic retreat, is what I'm trying to say. Make sure you've got a good retreat path first. But Warp Spiders are going to be the choice here for Rostam. A brilliant choice in this matchup for sure. Generally, against Tyranids in general, you do want Warp Spiders. They're an amazing option. They just do so much DPS that they're even good against Venom Brood and Warriors. But when there's a lot of melee, to get such a high DPS ranged unit that can teleport in rapid succession is very, very powerful. And then they scale well because they got the Haywire Grenade against Tyrant Guards, and then more crucially, Carnifex. That was a bit of a weird scream. A bit late there, Banshees, with your scream. We're nowhere near them. They were already retreating. But Typhus is going to do the Nid classic thing. He's just going to skip tier 2 basically, get some upgrades for his units, go straight to tier 3. So this right here is a crucial moment for Rostam. This is Typhus putting his foot off the gas. This is an opportunity for Rostam to establish himself and start a comeback. So he needs to start getting map control, bleed Typhus a lot, maybe get some squad wipes, level up these units. Right now he's only got level 1 Banshee, a level 2 Warlock, a level 1 Warp Spider. Let's get these leveled up. Let's get another squad of Warp Spiders maybe, a Shuriken, and then a Wraith Lord. And then you can beat basically anything that comes at you, even a Swarm Lord. You can beat if he's got double Warp Spiders, Banshee, Guardian, Warlock, Shuriken, Wraith Lord. Not going to be easy to beat a Swarm Lord, but he could, and certainly if he gets double Wraith Lord, then he could. You could go for a Falcon as well. Honestly, a Falcon wouldn't be a terrible choice, except for the fact that he's against the Hive Tyrant. I forgot. Don't go for a Falcon. The Venom Cannon and the Hive Tyrant's too good against Falcons. If it was Lictor Alpha or the Ravener Alpha, I might be more inclined, but the ability to get the charge armor on the Hive Tyrant along with the Venom Cannon really negates things like Falcons. Basically, it negates transports and tanks. But particularly the Falcon, because it's slower than other transports. This is a very good engagement here on the Warriors. The Banshee is able to output all of their crazy high power melee DPS. Oh, and another nice kill on the Warriors there, causing a bit of backlash onto the Hormagaunts. Managed to take out a couple of the Raveners. No, just one of the Raveners. No, yeah, a couple. Here comes the Hive Tyrant. Did debuff the Banshees there. I don't know about this fight. Looks like it'll be pretty good for the Eldar. Lucky special attack to initiate from the Hive Tyrant, but here comes the Wraith Lord, and the Hive Tyrant just wants to get out of there. Yeah. Okay, Typhus is going for Genestealers in tier 3. This seems weird to me. He's got the full gen farm. He should probably be saving up for a Carnifex or a Swarm Lord. To go tier 3 and then get Genestealers seems very weird. So he can get the Rending Talons on these Genestealers, which gives them heavy melee instead of the default power melee because he's in tier 3. So that gives him AV against the Wraith Lord, but I don't know, man. It's a Wraith Lord, and there's a Warlock here for good melee support. The Banshees are now level 2, good on them. Warp Spider's not doing too much yet. They need to get some more bleed on these guys. But yeah, I wouldn't want to kill a Wraith Lord with Genestealers. I mean, look, they can contribute, and you can just overwhelm the Wraith Lord. Obviously, the Wraith Lord can't solo all these melee units. But if Rostam plays this correctly and he doesn't get greedy with his Wraithlord, he doesn't get cocky, and he keeps the Wraithlord on his 50% of the map in range stance, exploiting the Shuriken, and uses it defensively to protect things like the Warp Spiders and to help the Banshees, then this Wraithlord could do amazing. And as it starts to level up, it gets better inherent regen for its Wraithbone as well, so yeah, this I don't know, we'll see. Like, this engagement right here, the Banshees, now they've got their Scream, they need to get out. They're fighting way too long, they stayed way too long. They should get the Scream and then just leave. You see, beautiful bitch slaps like that are going to be great. Let's see, he's going for the Warriors, he wants to proc the Backlash. He gets it, boom, big health gone from the Genestealers. Another model of the Warriors potentially. Ooh, very lucky not to get the other model. But the Wraithlord's isolated, you see, and the Genestealers are tearing it to pieces. You've got to hit the Genestealers, man. Rostam's not focusing the Genestealers, he was attacking Raveners. You've got to hit the Genestealers because then you're going to bleed their DPS. They had 6 models that entire fight, nothing was hitting them. Oh, Rostam, no! That was terrible use of his Wraithlord. God dang it, man. Unlucky not to get the second Backlash on the Warriors, to be fair, but still, as soon as that happened, he should have been focused firing the Genestealers, not in the Raveners. I don't know. And he probably shouldn't have took that fight in the first place when he had no support. That's the whole point of what I'm saying about using it defensively in range stance, so that you can disengage from bad engagements. That's why using it aggressively and put it in the enemy 50% of the map is so scary, because if your infantry have to retreat from there, that's great for them, but the vehicles can't retreat. So then they're going to get dragged down. But you know what? Typhus is throwing as well. Just lost his Hive Tyrant super unnecessarily, and all 3 Hormagon squads. So I don't know what Typhus is playing at. Clearly hyper-focusing on killing the Wraithlord, which he did, but now there's just a replacement Wraithlord. And I'm not really sure what the goal is here for Typhus. Is he going to save up for a Carnifex? Is he going to go for a Swarmlord? I'm not really sure. Now we can take this fight against these guys. There's only Warriors and Genestealers, and you've got Warp Spiders and Guardians to help you. You can take that fight, Rostam. Take that fight. Just ignore the Warriors right now, because the Genestealers are low. The Warriors have got the heavy infantry, so these guys won't do as much damage. Just focus the Genestealers, get rid of their DPS. Okay, Hive Tyrant's coming back on the field. This time he's got Crushing Claws, so now you really do not want to be dueling him with your Wraithlord. 108 DPS heavy melee, that is the highest DPS of any weapon in the game. For the... Well, actually, for anyone, yeah, any single... That is the highest DPS that any model that's infantry can carry in the game. Is there any vehicle that does more damage than that? I don't even know that there is. I'm pretty sure even walkers don't do that much DPS. They're relying on splash. Yeah, a lot of DPS here. No hero, no model in any squad does that much damage. So you don't want to just sit there and duel him. If you've got Warp Spiders helping you, I guess it's not that bad. Typhus is clearly committed here mentally for some reason to a full melee spam build. I definitely think a Venom Cannon would have been more useful. You know, then the Hive Tyrant can just sit at the back whilst the Wraithlord is fighting the Warriors and the Genestealers. And now Typhus is going for more Genestealers. What the hell is this? Typhus, you got to tier 3. You need to get Carnifex out. Not Genestealers. Like, Genestealers are a tier 2 unit. Yes, they scale. Yes, they've got heavy melee. Yes, you killed the first Wraithlord with the heavy melee Genestealers, but honestly, that was mistakes by Rostam. It's not a reliable way to be killing Wraithlords, and I would not want to be relying on it. If Rostam went for another Warp Spider squad, oh my god, this would cook these Genestealers so hard. And he should. Warp Spiders are so good against Tyranids. Not to mention, they scale against the Carnifex. If you've got dual Warp Spiders, you can immobilize a Carnifex entirely. Which, you know, it's pretty great. Then he just has to get a Bright Lance to follow up along with the Wraithlord. He can take out Carnifex too. He's going to go tier 3 himself, is Rostam. Again, needs to be careful with his retreat path here. Quite good not to retreat instantly, or he would have ran this way and got slaughtered by these 12 Genestealers. So that was nice from Rostam, a little bit of awareness here. Let's see if... Oh, so again, Genestealers have higher melee skill than normal units. They've got 80 melee skill compared to the 70 of things like the Warlock at level 0. So you want to be focusing on the warriors here with the Warlock, not the Genestealers. And he gets one bit of backlash, but this is really a scary situation. There's too many Genestealers, too much HP, and they've still got Synapse. They've in fact got improved Synapse, so they've got even more health, not just higher damage resistance. And for some reason Rostam gets the Kurnus Blade. I guess that's fine, but it's actually worse right now than the Merciless Witchblade. Because he doesn't have the energy to use Kurnus, and he gets cooked by the Genestealers. Actually, yeah, I really don't like that Kurnus purchase, and now the Wraithlord's going to get wrecked because there's no Warp Spiders to support it. Right. Looks like the Hive Tyrant's kind of path blocking the Genestealers, which is a mistake from Typhus. He should just walk the Hive Tyrant back. Whilst the Hive Tyrant himself does way more damage than any individual Genestealers, there's so many Genestealers here that they're going to out DPS the Hive Tyrant significantly. He's gone for triple Genestealers. Oh my god, Typhus, you are a troll. Nice scream there from the Banshee. He's going to guarantee that those Genestealers have to get out of there. Very strange tower there from Typhus. I don't know what the point of that was. Literally just feeding XP and red to his opponents at this point. And a Seer Council is going to be the choice for Rostam. Yeah, fair enough. He could have gone for the Fire Prism. I think that's fine. That would control the Genestealers pretty well. But yeah, Seer Council are okay as well. It's not amazing because Genestealers can still CC them with their crazy high melee skill. But it's okay. They get the knockback just from leaping into combat, so that will do a lot to disrupt the Genestealers and hurt them. I don't know why he got Kurnus though, that was a bad idea. Because the other thing with Kurnus is you're going to drain most of your Champion's Robe shield when you use that ability because it costs so much energy. And having the Champion's Robe is really nice because then the Genestealers can't knock you over. And honestly, one special from the Merciless Witchblade is nearly as good as the fucking Ethereal Slash. Nearly, not quite. But I guess he wants Ethereal Slash because it can be used even against Genestealers, whereas the Merciless Witchblade can't proc special against them because of their superior melee skill. I don't know. I don't like it. And yeah, Seer Council are getting wrecked because they're sent in solo. That's limit testing, I guess. Rostam didn't realise they're not going to be able to solo Warriors plus Genestealers. It's just a numbers game. You need the Banshees and the Warlock and the Seer Council together, and then this force will get wrecked. But if you send them in and isolated, it's going to be a struggle. Kill Surprise. What do these guys cost to reinforce? I don't even know. Could have been a nice retreat grenade attempt there. I guess there's way too much going on right now for retreat grenades. But honestly, if he aimed that correct, that would have wiped the Genestealers. Not that it matters that much. There's 3 more Genestealers, even excluding that squad. And Genestealers are pretty cheap. They're not dirt cheap, but they're pretty damn cheap, to be honest. Yeah, 29 requisition. We're talking marginally more than an Orc Boy. Of course, they do have that power cost, but Tyranids don't really care too much about the power cost. Well, not in tier 2. They kind of do in tier 3, like Carnifex are pretty power intensive, but evidently right now, bleed is more of a concern on the requisition end for Typhus. But that's just because he chose to go for Genestealers and not for Carnifex. I'm sure if he went for Carnifex, he'd be wishing he had more power. So here we go, we've got the Banshees and the Seers fighting together. Unfortunately, the Banshees started that fight quite isolated, without the support of the Seers. We've got the Ethereal Slash going in, and the teleport was wasted on the Warp Spiders, and it kind of left them open to this Tyranid formation. That was a good Tyranid formation, actually. I like that. Good foresight. And the beautiful thing with the Tyranid formation is it boosts the speed of all the Tyranids, so now the Genestealers are moving crazy fast. Nearly wiping out the Seer Council. Yeah, I guess the Fire Prism would have been a lot better. Even wiping the Warlock out and retreat here. Let's see what the Wraithlord can do. He's going to Eldritch Storm it? Oh, Rostam, I don't know if that's a good idea, man. That's going to do so much damage to your fucking Wraithlord. Wow, it was. Okay, Rostam. Okay, Rostam. That was a play. He's making plays out here, but his Wraithlord is now stunned by the Eldritch, and the bloody Hive Tyrant's got that Crushing Claw. Oh, I don't think he can get out. These Genestealers are too quick. Again, the Hive Tyrant's kind of blocking his own Genestealers, but the Genestealers are now moving forward. Can they catch this thing? Yeah, they should be able to catch it. They're too fast. See, Genestealers are speed 6.5 as well. I really think Rostam needed more Warp Spiders in tier 2 against all this melee spam. And I must admit, I don't think his Warp Spider play has been very good either. Seers were obviously a mistake. I think they could have been used better, but I think they were a suboptimal choice in the first place. I think going for Fire Prisms would have been better. I mean, you can't tie up the Hive Tyrant with a Fire Prism, but you can CC all the Genestealers basically infinitely, so what do you want? What do you want from me? It would have been exactly what he needed, and Typhus is very much trolling right now, literally just right-clicked that Genestealer button in his HQ and spamming those guys. And it's funny, you know, I so often see and hear people saying Genestealers are crap, Genestealers are trash, and I mean, it's unfortunate that Genestealers are the best melee infantry that the Tyranids get. They're obviously no Terminators. They're no Seer Council. But this is the thing, look how many of them you can get. They're way cheaper, and they're faster. So, it's just typical Tyranid things. You just overwhelm the enemy, and I like this play. Keeping the Warrior Brood at the back there with the one model. Just getting the Synapse activated. I mean, look at these Genestealers. They are absolutely tearing the Eldar to pieces. Seer Council had absolutely no chance. Because when they're in melee Synapse, you see they go up to 90 melee skill. So they're just going to spam specials when there's this many of them. The Seer Council aren't even going to be able to attack. So you need to kill them with range. You need to kill them with spiders. You need to kill them with the Prism. You need to kill them with guaranteed knockback, like Ethereal Slash, or you need to get a unit that can't be knocked back, like Terminators, with their Lightning Claws, because they don't have power melee, they're going to get wrecked as well by the DPS coming out of the Genestealers. But yeah, I think, I don't know if Rostam can deal with this. He's got the VP advantage and he's playing Eldar, so there's always a way. He's not been using any webway gates though, that would certainly help him out quite a bit. Typhus's towers are very weird. They're definitely just feeding his opponents, really. I don't really get that, but whatever. You know, spawning the towers and getting rippers out of them could be something valuable if he was fighting more Warp Spiders as well. I guess against one Warp Spider, it's not really too necessary. Man, you see how fast the Genestealers die though when they're out of combat. Sorry, not when they're out of combat. When they're out of range of the Hive Tyrant. It looks like he might even get the Warriors right now. It's going pretty hard for them. I was going to say, where's the Seer knockback? It looks like it was enough to scare them into retreat, and it actually ended up being the wipe. But yeah, these Genestealers alongside the Hive Tyrant, pretty scary. That improved Synapse, I think, has been putting in work. It's really hard to quantify, but it just seems like the Genestealers are exponentially better when they're near the Hive Tyrant. Obviously, he's providing his basic Synapse too. God, that was another Tyranid formation, I guess, to move these Warp Spiders off the point. But Genestealer's not going to be able to cap it. Yeah, I'm really not a fan of this bloody Witchblade Acurnus. Now he's got Providence, that should be pretty good. Though he should have actually activated Providence first if he wanted to spam that shit. Might have got another wipe there on the Genestealers. I guess it doesn't really matter, he forced them off either way. Warlock probably wants to activate Fleet and go down to that point. Oh no, he needs to go back to the natural. I didn't even realise Typhus has took his bloody natural. Man, what an atrocious game. Rostam just can't get any more units out. Yeah, these Seers are not going well for him. They just bled him like crazy as soon as he's got them. But we got some gates coming up here from Master Rostam. It seems like he can hear me. But holy shit, this is a terrifying blob of Genestealers in the middle here. Now, I don't know about engaging this man with your Seers. I wouldn't even bother. I really wouldn't bother. They're just going to bleed. They're not going to win. It's not worth it. The Seers can beat the one Genestealer easily. But yeah, look at this. Oh my god, so much bleed. There's just no point. Just send them off to the natural. And if they encounter an isolated unit, you know that they can beat them because they're Seer Council. but fighting this blob around the Hive Tyrant is not a good idea. This is how you deal with it. I don't know why he's not using Providence. If he used Providence, then he'd be able to spam Ethereal Slash, and right here he'd be in a great spot. But he can't do it now because it's on cooldown. So Providence basically reduces your cooldowns to like 1 second. Does it tell you what it does exactly? Greatly reduces ability cooldowns by 10%. No, that's not what it does. I think it means 10%. It reduces the cooldowns by 90%. Like, you use an ability after you've used Providence and it comes off cooldown in like a second. So it must reduce the cooldowns by 90% to 10%. But the problem is, if the ability is already on cooldown, like a normal 40-second cooldown or whatever your ability is, then it's not going to come off cooldown when you activate Providence. And that's exactly what happened to Rostam there. He might have forgot that. So if you run in, you use your Kernus, and then you activate Providence, you're kind of screwed because you've got to wait like the full whatever it is, 30-40 seconds to use Kernus again, rather than the, I assume, 3 or 4 seconds it normally would be under Providence. So you can get off normally under Providence, I think it's 4 Ethereal Slashes, which obviously would be just terrifyingly brutal against Genestealers, and that is a tier 3 war gear, which really Rostam hasn't really been able to utilise so far. But Seers, I feel like, should be going down the side here because, you know, they're going to encounter this isolated Genestealer. They can beat one Genestealer, I assume. No, they will be able to beat one Genestealer. It might be a bit tricky because of the melee skill thing, but I'm sure they'd beat one Genestealer. But yeah, fighting in the big blobs, you really can't do that. You're not going to win a blob fight in melee against triple Genestealer surrounded by guarded by a Hive Tyrant. And now there's a Swarm Lord, so Rostam took too long. It's interesting that this game, in spite of the melee spam, Rostam had the VP lead for most of it. But like I said, in tier 2, Typhus was kind of putting his foot off the gas when he just went tier 3. And then he went tier 3 to spam Genestealers. I mean, that's really, really weird. You don't see that very often. Typically, they'd go tier 3, the Tyranids, to get that Swarm Lord out ASAP, or more reliably to get a Carnifex, because it comes out a little bit sooner because it's not quite as expensive, but also the Carnifex has a shorter build time than the Swarm Lord. But now that the Swarm Lord's on the field, yeah, Rostam, I don't think you're able to do this, man. Maybe he can do some sort of ratting nonsense with his webway gates. He is Eldar after all, but the Swarm Lord boosts the speed of all nearby Tyranids and allows them to reinforce off of him. So given that the Genestealers only cost like a little bit more requisition than an Orc Slugger Boy, and power is clearly not a concern for Typhus because he's been spamming Genestealers, not Carnifex, so he doesn't care about the free power requisition cost. Basically, you can reinforce these guys forever, and you can see the Genestealers here are getting a big speed boost. I'm not sure what the speed boost is from the Synapse on the Swarm Lord, but as I said before, these guys are already speed 6.5, so any speed boost on them is quite terrifying. And this is why you need the multiple Warp Spiders. You know? Immobilize that Swarm Lord, pin him in place. Immobilize the Swarm Lord with your double Warp Spiders, and then you can hit it with an Eldritch Storm head on. Then imagine you've got a Fire Prism instead of Seer Council. Now you can follow up with a Focus Beam from your Fire Prism. You know, there are tools there to beat the Swarm Lord, even if he starts spawning in Rippers, which obviously are typically the bane of anything trying to kill the Swarm Lord, because the Rippers can reinforce for practically free off the Swarm Lord. The Rippers are moving faster, and they can move forward and tie up things like a Bright Lance or Fire Dragons than are maybe trying to deal with the Swarm Lord. So yeah, I don't know. There's options there for the Eldar, but in this case, Rostam not really utilising them. I'm saying that, but Rostam's playing a good little rat game here, isn't he? Using his webway, trying to get on these points here, putting pressure on the natural. He managed to get Typhus down to 18 VPs. Really quite commendable. I'm not entirely sure what these Warp Spiders are doing right now. Are they really going for the requisition point? They are. Okay. I guess that's like some sort of bait. Try and pull Typhus back so he can get in with something onto the VPs, but I don't know if it's going to work. Seers here losing to the Genestealers. I assume that they tried to cap the point and stopped too late. Ooh, that was a nice leap into Kernus, saving the Seers, but Seers quite clearly here were a terrible, terrible choice. But yeah, good game. Good game. He nearly got Typhus down. It doesn't matter now though, even if he takes this point, he's not capping either of these. This squad can't see the Genestealers because they're infiltrating whilst capping. Bloody Genestealers, man, so annoying. Adrenal Frenzy. Yeah. Secures the cap here with his invulnerability from Providence. But he can't get his actual VP, I don't think. Or can he? With a Prism shooting here. Hurry up, Prism. Okay. No, it doesn't matter. By the time the bloody Watt Spiders took the VP, the Hive Tyrant's going to have claimed his own VP, and this is basically unstoppable in the mid. Note how the Carnifex is also increasing speed by the Swarm Lord, which creates really a quite terrifying combination when you've got a Swarm Lord surrounded by Carnifex. To be fair, not really something you see even in 3v3, never mind 1v1, but yeah, a very powerful combo to be aware of. There you go, folks, a little bit of Eldar versus Tyranids. Not a match that we get to see too often. Certainly a crazy build there from Typhus, and Genestealer's putting in some work. Do you like to see it? Tell me down in the comments below, but otherwise that is all from your boy Torpid. This time I am going to be signing out.